like this
Now we
map.
play Liberty Falls for our last match of the episode. And I'm gonna say that this is probably a pretty good map. Um, Even though people like to play Overwatchy, scammy, scummy ways, it's kind of counterable with this map. You know, like you don't have to sit and oh my gosh, almost drove off the bridge there.
Shit, hold on.
Like you don't have to sit from across the bridge to shoot at the other side of across this bridge. You know what I mean? You don't have to sit at the top of the hill to shoot at the other side. You could shoot at you could hit a lot. You could see there's a lot of vision for trajectory in this map, which is what I like. Now that's also going to play a part on our defense. It's going to make our defense game have to be stepped up because it's going to be a harder situation with all these different all these different line of sights that can be sent their trajectories of projectiles towards. Like, here we go. Ooh, nice little. Ooh, good dodge, good dodge. That could have been bad. I got nothing but this little carcass to use for cover, and I'm gonna use it for cover because if I bridge that gap to close in on that one, I'm certainly dead. If I back up too much, I'm gonna lose the angle and probably get smoked way easier than they're doing it now. That was a big shell hitting the top half of my back end, so that was gonna hurt. That is if it didn't bounce. At this point, it looks like I'm trying to get a shot off. I'm probably going to expose myself too much right there.
I hit A when I did my barrel.
That's a bad angle to be backed up with that much. Yep, see, told you. That was the angle and the positioning there. We could have still sat behind that carcass longer. That's why I tell people, though, it's not hard to actually play the game. They're just afraid to play it. They think that they can't play it because it's harder to play for them, you know, whatever skill level they're at, right? It's probably not a hard game to play to just sit away from the enemies and wait for shots that probably aren't even being countered, right?
Fucked up though, because we ain't even gonna get the flags that we got. We'll probably lose the flags that we put into it. All because people don't want to get involved.
Yep. And it's a valid situation. It's very real. You know, people can deny it all they want. The best players in the game, they can act like it's not happening and it's not what they do. But that's why the game is in such a shitty state. It's because of the illegitimate play styles, the incorrect behavior of playing this game. I could be muted. Nobody, if nobody wanted to hear me, they can simply do something about it, right? We don't have to be, you know,
not selling at that point.
you ain't hurting me by not listening to me, and I ain't hurting you by you not listening to me, right? So my argument is we can't do anything. If you're hurting my teammates and me with your playstyle, I can't do anything about it. If I'm hurting your ears or your ego or your emotional tied actions, emotionally tied actions, if I'm affecting them with my words, you can mute me.
Absolutely not.
Right? We don't have to interact at all.
Just about every banner bounty I've ever played. So why? Because this is a pretty cool game mode that I'm interested in actually playing. I get to retry. I don't have to wait for some bullshit ass fucking score that doesn't really matter. I get to do what I get to do in a time frame. We all get to do stuff, and we'll see who's better.
Probably should have started my reload or sent that bullet sooner, but this might work out. I think I actually remember playing this. This was from like a month ago.
Oh shit.
half a month. This was like 3 weeks ago or something like that. 2-3 weeks ago, something like that. I remember playing this mode, Banner Bounty mode though. It was pretty fun.
He's trying to stay in the ring.
I enjoyed it because I got to keep playing. I didn't have to sit around and wait for the tank that I wanted to play with. I didn't have to sit around and wait for a team to help me, so I didn't lose the tank that I was playing with if I was able to play with it this time to whatever extent I was able to play with it. Nice, nice.
Thank you.
We call that teamwork. Don't know how many of you know anything about it, but you're the viewers, you're not really the players, so maybe you guys do know about it. However, not to add insult, like I'm not trying to beat the argument, I'm not trying to fight this fight, but the thing is, I still don't believe that that player was doing that to support. I think that player just wanted the points, and it was finally able to get some of them, so it tried to get some of them, you know? I don't think that player was actually trying to support me. I think the player was trying to support itself, and by default, that supports me, because you achieving things in a match, we're on the same team, and against an enemy team that we have to achieve things against, preferably faster and or better than the other team, so that we can do it first, or, you know, better, but it is what it is, you know. Those are the arguments that this community can have. I don't need to argue it. The facts are right there every game. I did take a week break after the banner bounty mode left because I don't want to keep playing the game at its standard playability, because it's actually pretty bad to me. Like, that stuff, me crashing, you know, me rolling on my side, me hurting myself jumping off a cliff or a jump, you know, that's good, you know, that's part of the game. I like it, I don't mind it, that's part of the game, right? But all this stuff where you see nothing but blue emblems at the spawn point, you know, and their only excuse this match mode is because in Banner Bounty you respawn, so, you know, depending on how many times you die, you might be at the spawn point once in a while, you know, once or twice, maybe a few times, you know. But in regular mode, to see 10 to 14 of my teammates trying to play free point getting Overwatch positions, you know, it's just not a game I want to play. Good shots, try to reposition, that's a good reposition. I should have tried to get behind that hill, but it looks like that enemy tank is getting pushed behind that hill, so it doesn't really matter, we don't need to be behind that. We got a full health tank coming down to support that fight, so I'm going to let my teammate take its chances, as it was already kind of winning, had a good chance to win, may support me in this situation, they do not. But I still get that enemy tank for half of its health, or more than half of its health. And that's going to allow my team to make an impact against it, because it can't heal itself up unless it has a torch. And let's be honest, how many times do we have to explain to the idiots who want to use a torch that you're wasting your time? Because you're not getting much health out of a torch that you get to use very rarely. And then it does very minuscule amount. If it did a bigger percentage, you know, then maybe I could see you using that thing 2 or 3 times in a match that you'll get to use it. But until then, you know, there's no point in me trying to collect 500 damage off of a torch over the course of 5 minutes. I can save myself 500 damage 5 to 10 times in that time frame. Look, there was a deflection right there. Who needs a torch? See what I'm saying? the bad players need torches. I'm not gonna keep arguing it. That's how I feel about it. You know, and that's basically the truth. But that's it for this episode, guys. I hope you enjoyed the match. We got many more up there. They're gonna be a little bit different for now until I figure out how I want to make my videos.